R. The clock on my wall says 6 a.m., and the world outside my window is still soft, quiet, and gray. Every morning, I ask myself the same small question: is routine a comfort, or is it just something we build to feel in control? R. Today, I thought I knew exactly how my hours would unfold. I had my list written down, my coffee planned, and my tasks neatly arranged. But life has a quiet, strange way of surprising us. R. Sometimes, the most meaningful days are the ones where everything goes wrong, just enough to make us pay attention. Let me take you through my day, from the peaceful morning light, through a sudden little breakdown, to this warm and quiet room tonight. R. I like the sound of the apartment before anything starts. The quiet feels heavy, but in a comforting way. I step out of bed, and the floorboards give a tiny creak under my feet. It is cold enough that I wrap my big cardigan tight around my shoulders. R. I walk into the kitchen barefoot, feeling the cool tiles against my toes. Making coffee in the morning is not just a habit for me, it is a small ceremony. I open the bag of coffee beans, and the rich, dark smell fills the air instantly. I scoop the beans into the grinder. R. The sound of grinding is sharp and loud in the quiet kitchen, breaking the morning silence. I pour the hot water over the ground coffee, watching the dark liquid drip down slowly, steam rising in thin white curls toward the ceiling. R. I stand there for a few minutes, doing absolutely nothing, just listening to the drip of the water and watching the sky outside turn from deep blue to soft gray. I take my mug and sit by the window. The street below is beginning to wake up. R. A few early cars drive by with a soft, wet sound on the asphalt. A stranger walks by holding an umbrella, even though it is not raining yet. I take my first sip of coffee. It is hot, bitter, and deep, warming my chest as it goes down. R. This is the moment where I feel completely present. No phone, no notifications, no rushing. Just me, the warm cup in my hands, and the cold morning air coming through the tiny gap in the window frame. I open my notebook. I write down 3 simple things I want to achieve today. R. Finish my work project by 2 p.m., take a short walk in the afternoon, and read a few chapters of my book before bed. It sounds simple. It feels organized. I turn off the kitchen light, gather my things, and move toward my workspace. My desk is right next to a big window. R. I like having natural light when I work, even on cloudy days like today. I wipe down the surface of the desk with a soft cloth. I like starting with a clean slate. I power up my computer, and the soft hum of the fan starts filling the room. I arrange my workspace carefully. R. Water glass on the left, notebook on the right, phone placed face down in the drawer so I do not get distracted. I start typing. My fingers hit the mechanical keys with a rhythm that feels good, almost like music. For the first 2 hours, I am completely in the zone. R. Words flow easily, tasks get checked off one by one, and I feel that quiet satisfaction of being productive. I check the time on my screen. It is 11:30 a.m. I am far ahead of my schedule. R. I smile to myself, thinking that today is going to be one of those perfect, seamless days where everything falls right into place. Then, at precisely 11:45 a.m., the light in my room flickers once, then twice, and then everything stops. R. The hum of my computer fan disappears. The screen goes completely black. The warm lamp on my desk turns off. The room becomes completely, eerily quiet. I sit there, freezing in place, staring at the black screen. My heart gives a sudden, sharp thump. R. I had not saved my file for the last 40 minutes. I press the power button on my computer once, twice, 3 times. Nothing happens. I look up at the ceiling lights. Nothing. I stand up, walk over to the hallway, and check the main power breaker. R. Everything looks fine, but the switch does not bring anything back. I look out the window. The streetlights outside are dark too. The whole neighborhood seems to have lost power. I go back to my desk and sit down slowly. A wave of quiet frustration washes over me. R. That comfortable feeling of being ahead of schedule vanishes instantly. My unsaved work, my strict timeline, my peaceful afternoon plan, all of it feels ruined. Outside, the sky suddenly turns a darker shade of charcoal gray, and within seconds, a heavy downpour begins. R. Rain hammers against my window pane with a loud, aggressive rush. Water streams down the glass in fast, messy lines. I sit alone in my dark room, listening to the rain, feeling annoyed at the timing. Why now? Why today, when I felt so focused? I look at my notebook. R. My neat little list of 3 goals feels completely irrelevant now. For 10 minutes, I just sit there and feel frustrated. But as the rain continues to fall, something inside me shifts. I realize that sitting in a dark room complaining about the power will not bring my file back. R. It will not stop the rain. It will not change the fact that my perfect plan for the day is broken. I take a deep breath. I decide to close my notebook, close my laptop, and walk away from my desk. If I cannot work at my desk, I will leave the house. R. I put on my warm raincoat, grab my umbrella, and slip on my waterproof boots. I step out into the hallway, lock my door, and head downstairs into the rainy afternoon. Stepping outside into the rain feels like entering a completely different world. R. The air is cool, heavy, and smells like damp soil and wet pavement. Every step I take makes a soft splashing sound in the shallow puddles on the sidewalk. Raindrops bounce off my umbrella with a continuous rhythmic patter. The streets are mostly empty. R. Most people are hidden away inside, waiting for the storm to pass. But as I walk down the block, I notice things I usually rush past during my normal routine. I notice the bright green color of the leaves on the trees, dripping with rainwater. R. I notice the way the yellow streetlights reflect in the dark water on the ground. I notice the warm orange glow coming from the window of a small coffee shop at the end of the street. I have passed this small coffee shop 100 times, but I have never actually walked inside. R. Today, because my routine broke, I open the wooden door and step in. The air inside is instantly warm, smelling heavily of roasted coffee beans, toasted bread, and cinnamon. A soft jazz song is playing from an old speaker in the corner. There are only 2 other people inside. R. An old man reading a newspaper near the radiator, and a girl sitting near the window drawing in a sketchbook. I order a hot tea with honey and a fresh slice of warm banana bread. I carry my wooden tray to a small corner table near the window. R. I sit down, unwrapping my wet umbrella and setting it beside my chair. I take a bite of the warm banana bread. It is soft, sweet, and comforting. I take a sip of the tea, feeling the warm steam hit my face before the hot liquid soothes my throat. R. I look out the window at the rain pouring down on the street. For the first time in weeks, I have nothing to work on, no screen to stare at, and no deadline to run after. The power outage forced me to stop, and stopping feels surprisingly good. R. I take my physical notebook out of my coat pocket. Instead of writing down tasks or schedules, I just start writing down how I feel. R. I write about the sound of the rain, the taste of the warm honey tea, and the way my frustration turned into peace the moment I stopped fighting the day. I stay in that little coffee shop for nearly 2 hours. R. I watch the rain slow down from a heavy pour to a soft, misting drizzle. The sky begins to open up slightly, letting a quiet, pale afternoon light filter through the gray clouds. The old man folds his newspaper and leaves with a gentle nod to the barista. R. The girl packs up her sketchbook. I drink the last drop of my tea, feel the warmth settling deep in my body, and decide it is time to head back home. Walking back, the air feels fresher, cleaner. My mind feels clear, uncluttered by the stress I had felt earlier in the morning. R. When I unlock my apartment door and step back inside, the soft hum of the refrigerator greets me. The power is back on. The little green light on my router is blinking steadily. I walk over to my desk and open my computer. R. I press the power button, hoping for the best, but expecting the worst regarding my lost work. The screen lights up, and to my complete surprise, the editing program opens up with an automatic recovery prompt. Nearly 90% of my work was saved right before the outage. R. A tiny laugh slips out of my mouth. I had spent 20 minutes stressing over something that was not even lost. It was a good lesson for me. So much of our daily anxiety comes from imagining the worst before it even happens. R. I spend the next hour quickly finishing up the remaining tasks. My fingers fly across the keys again, but this time the urgency is gone. I am not rushing to meet a strict deadline. I am just quietly wrapping up my day. By 5 p.m., I close my laptop completely and slide it to the side of my desk. My work for the day is done. The sun is beginning to set outside, casting a warm, pale pink glow across the clouds over the rooftops. I stand up, stretch my arms above my head, and move back into the kitchen to prepare dinner. I stand in front of my kitchen counter for a moment, just breathing in the quiet evening atmosphere. I open the refrigerator door and look inside. There are fresh vegetables, garlic, pasta, and a jar of homemade sauce. Cooking in the evening is my absolute favorite way to transition from work mode to rest mode. I turn on a soft acoustic playlist on my small speaker, setting the volume low so it fills the room without overpowering the silence. I place a wooden cutting board on the counter. I take a sharp knife and peel 3 cloves of fresh garlic. I press the flat side of the knife down until the garlic crushes with a satisfying crunch. Then I slice it thinly. I heat up a small skillet on the stove, pouring in a golden stream of olive oil. The moment the sliced garlic touches the hot pan, it sizzles softly and the kitchen fills with an incredible rich aroma. I slice a handful of bright cherry tomatoes into tiny halves and drop them into the oil. They pop and soften quickly, releasing their sweet juices. I stir them with a wooden spoon, watching the colors combine into a rich, glossy sauce. Meanwhile, in a